Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is where you get your daily dose of AWS topics. And to all our returning viewers, thank you for joining us once again. It's great to have you back. In this video, we're going to discuss or investigate if AWS Lambda has out-of-the-box caching feature. So, according to DeepSeek, AWS Lambda does not have a built-in dedicated caching feature out of the box. However, it leverages execution environment reuse to optimize performance, which can be used to implement basic caching strategies. Here's a breakdown. Execution environment reuse. Lambda retains the execution environment container for a short period after a function runs. If another invocation occurs during this time, the environment is reused. Use case, you can cache object database connections, configuration files, SDK clients, and memory by utilizing them outside the handler function. Limitations, ephemeral caching, the cache exists only when the execution environment is alive. Typically minutes or 2 hours. No cross-function caching. Cache data is isolated to a single Lambda instance. Cold starts. New environment starts with empty caches. Okay, so that is the answer from DeepSeek. Let's see what is the answer from ChatGPT. AWS Lambda does not have an out-of-the-box caching feature like a built-in in-memory cache. However, you can implement caching in several ways. Use execution context, warm starts, limited caching. Lambda maintains an execution context for a short period after a function executes. If another request comes in while the context is still active, a warm start, global variables declared outside the function handler persist. You can cache data this way. Using Lambda extensions, you can extend Lambda with Lambda extensions to introduce an external in-memory cache like Redis via Elastic Cache or a local cache out inside the Lambda execution environment. Using AWS Elastic Cache for a more persistent multi-request caching strategy, use AWS Elastic Cache, Redis key value store, using DynamoDB. Yeah. So why is it that some people are saying that Lambda has out-of-the-box caching feature? Does AWS Lambda has an out-of-the-box caching feature? Okay, caching data and configuration settings with AWS Lambda extensions. In this post, I show how to build a flexible in-memory AWS Lambda caching layer using Lambda extensions. Lambda functions using REST API calls to access the data and configuration from the cache. This can reduce latency and cost when consuming data from AWS services such as Amazon DynamoDB, AWS Systems Manager Parameter Store, and AWS Secrets Manager. Applications making frequent API calls to retrieve static data can benefit from a caching layer. This can reduce the function's latency, particularly for synchronous requests as the data is retrieved from the cache instead of an external service. The cache can also reduce cost by reducing the number of calls to downstream service. There are two types of cache to consider in this situation. The data cache for caching data from databases such as Amazon Relational Database Service or Amazon RDS or DynamoDB. Configuration cache for caching data from a configuration management system such as parameter store. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so as we've discovered, AWS Lambda doesn't have any out-of-the-box caching feature for uh, AWS Lambda doesn't have any caching out-of-the-box caching feature. So that's it. Somebody lied. Alright, cool. Thanks. Bye bye. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Bye bye.